I sprained my groin. Do chicks have groin?
Do chicks have groin? I still do not believe that a character could possibly be that dumb. Hi, and welcome back to The Inside of My Head, where I had a thought the other day that certain movies are so predictable that you could probably review them before you'd even seen them, just based on the trailer. When it comes to Thunderforce, which I did a video on a few weeks ago when the trailer came out, I'm curious to see if my predictions were correct. So go check out that vid and let's see what I got right and what I got wrong. But regardless, I won't do a full review here like I usually do. A, because I don't want to spend any more time on this garbage, and B, because I feel like I've already said everything that I've got to say in that video. But in brief, the story is about Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer, who are the cliched odd couple who find each other as kids, despite one being really smart and one being really dumb. But they do get on as kids until they don't.
I'm late. You were supposed to wake me up.
Oh, wow. That did not go like I planned it.
And they fall out and become estranged.
Can't let you drag me down. Drag you down? I'm always looking out for you. I'm the only reason you have any fun. You don't.
Then, as adults, a high school reunion is the plot device that's used to bring them back together, where we find out the smart one has been working on a formula to give normal people superpowers.
It does, but...
Oh, God, here we go. And Melissa McCarthy ends up getting super strength, and Octavia Spencer gets invisibility. And they form Thunderforce.
Thunderforce!
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 Yep. To go fight some super enhanced bad guys. But of course, their old grievance about Octavia Spencer being so much smarter than McCarthy.
Whatever you say. You're always right. You're the special one, not me. Right, Em?
Pops back up again before they realize that it's what's in your heart that counts and not what's in your head, and they save the day in a happy girl power feel good ending to make you vomit rainbows. So firstly, as I said in my other video, I wish we could all just ignore movies like this, because I'm pretty sure if we all ignored them, they just would go away. But I know that's easier said than done. Like, I checked it out just out of some pure perverse curiosity that this might be so bad that it's actually entertaining somehow. But the truth is, as bad as I thought it was going to be, it's actually worse, because on top of everything, it's actually pretty boring. And I think that's because it's so predictable, and you know every plot point before it happens. There's even a couple of scenes early on where it's almost like they didn't bother scripting them. And yes, I know what improv is, but it's like they just put Melissa McCarthy in a chair, flipped the camera on, and waited for the magic to happen. Only she doesn't know what to do, so she just ends up sipping some milk and mixing it with some beer, and it's really flat. And even McCarthy herself seems like she cannot be arsed with this one. If there is anything to be said for her past performances, is that they can be construed as funny because she really fucking goes for it, and it's that confidence that carries it.
Megan, no! Look away!
Oh my God, yes, she is in a sink. Here, that confidence just isn't there.
I am all powerful!
Either because she doesn't have faith in the project, and rightly so, or she's just here for the paycheck. Maybe it could also be because the director of the movie is her husband, which would figure because a lot of the scenes feel like a long-term relationship that's just grown stale over the years to the point where the two people just resent each other. Like, you can just imagine him prancing around, directing the scene, moving the lights and stuff, and then going, okay, action, but she's still sat there stewing about the fact that he left the lid off the toothpaste that morning. Better not be messing around with a babysitter again. Unsurprisingly, there's also a dose of feminism in this movie.
She's not a nerd. She's smart. There's a difference.
Well, not feminism exactly, but you know this thing that women have where they have to sit around and tell each other that they're special and no, you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful. No, you're beautiful. There's that. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's presented in an entertaining and interesting way. Oh. Which is not as forced in your face as I thought it was going to be. But of course, the male characters are either buffoonal idiots.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, knock, knock.
Who's there?
I'm an owl. Shut up. That's it.
Men who flee their parental responsibilities.
When he found out about the baby, he didn't want any part of it.
Or in the case of this guy, a man who turns evil because he's jealous a woman is more popular than him. Was there a single likable male character in this movie? Well, yeah, actually there is this guy from Arrested Development who always manages to be quite funny, but even he, not able to save this thing. He got a couple of little chuckles out of me. Because basically his storyline is that he was swimming one day over a radioactive coral reef and then a radioactive fish bit him in the balls or something, and then he grew these lobster arms. And it's amusing principally because it's a little wink to us, you know, it's a little nod to the fact that this whole superhero genre is actually completely ludicrous when you think about it, and this is actually poking fun at that fact. I think I would have preferred it if the whole movie had been a pick of the superhero genre, but it never really went the whole hog that way either. Then we have the bad guy, Bobby Cannavale, and I really liked this actor when I first saw him in Boardwalk Empire. I thought his character was again a little bit of the cliched psycho villain. He was a guy who loved violence for no reason and fetishistic sex and stuff like this for absolutely no reason, and he was just a psycho. And for Boardwalk Empire, that was a little bit weak. But there was no doubt that this actor had presence and charisma and persona. But since then, he seems to have been fully pigeonholed into the over-the-top supervillain role, and his parts just seem to get goofier and goofier. Like the last thing I saw him in was a guy who could control animals with some kind of green magic, but I forget what movie that was in. Kudos points to anyone who can tell me what that movie is. Anyway, look, I guess Thunderforce is trying to tell women it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to be a superwoman to be valid and have a sense of self-worth. But who the fuck is going to feel inspired by this? By a movie this two-dimensional, a comedy that fails in nearly all of its jokes.
Ow! Why my boobs?
I mean, I would love to think that there's a plump little 8-year-old girl out there somewhere who's being bullied at school, who watches this and thinks, I don't have to feel bad about myself because this movie has taught me some profound lesson. But I really think that all that girl is going to think is, why the f*** did they bother making this utter piece of shit in the first place? It fails at A, telling a story, B, being a superhero movie, C, being funny, D, bringing feminism into the superhero genre. Every single thing that I assume that they set out to do in the first place, because I'm not entirely sure what it was that they were trying to do in the first place, they failed at. Anyway, it ends with Melissa Matthew McCormack here sacrificing herself, and it seems to be building up on the sentimentality, but then it's all ruined when she does this. Yep. And I understand what they were trying to do here. They were trying to give you that kind of soppy ending and then pull the rug away from you at the last minute. But because the final payoff, the final joke is completely unfunny... Yes, she does it twice. And I'm talking Ghostbusters 2016 levels of unfunny here. No, it can't be! It is. It just leaves you with a really sour taste in your mouth. And that's it. It cuts to the titles after a bit of a victory dance and you don't find out what happened to any of the characters. Nobody's learned any particularly great lessons from this, and that's fine. It's fine for it to be a completely uncomplicated bit of a silly movie. That's okay. But it's another thing to walk away feeling like you've just had your time wasted. And that's what I had here. Is it as bad as some of the Adam Sandler movies? No, probably not. Is it as bad as Ghostbusters 2016? No, probably not that bad, but that is the ballpark that we are in here. So I'm not going to spend any more time talking about it. Check it out if you want. I really wouldn't recommend it. As always, guys, I'm really super grateful for you taking the time to watch my videos. Every subscription, every like, every comment really encourages me to do more of this stuff. So I really do appreciate your support in the early days of this channel. I'm going to be away for a week now. The shrink says it's good for me to get out of my own head for a little while. But if all goes according to plan, I will still have Godzilla Awakening up for you, as well as Tales from Year Zero. So thanks again for watching and see you very soon in the next one. Cheerio, bye!